Hey, good Friday morning, everyone. It's a special edition of Weather for Weather Geeks as we gear up for our next snowstorm. I am back on the evening shift for a day today, so you'll see another video like this posted mid-afternoon, and I'll be on 21 News tonight at 6 and 11 with your latest forecast. But here's a morning heads up on where we stand. Things are going to be quiet today. Nothing really going on today other than the fact that it's cold outside. As I record this a little before 9 this morning, it's still in the upper teens to around 20. We've got 19 at Youngstown Warren Airport, 19 Akron Canton, and up in Cleveland it's about 20 degrees or so. As I zoom out, we do have some ongoing lake effects up in upstate New York, extreme northern Pennsylvania as well. And boy, they have just gotten pummeled recently downwind of Lake Erie in Ontario up in New York. And there'll be another really big shot of lake effect snow today up here north of Syracuse and then especially south of Buffalo. So that's lake effect. That's separate from what's going to happen as we go into tonight and tomorrow. Our storm is back here. It's producing rain and mixed precipitation from Missouri back through Kansas, Oklahoma, northern Texas as well, and this system is coming north and east. And look at the air ahead of the system. It's cold, very cold. This is a fresh, cold Arctic air mass, and temperatures definitely are cold enough for snow once you get to east of the Mississippi River, and so this will be a snow event for us. So let's take off the current information and we'll bring up our computer model here, which will show us what the radar will look like as we go into the future. I'm going to start with this evening at 7 o'clock. This is when the leading edge of the snow will be getting into eastern Illinois. Now, even though this looks like kind of a rain radar with the green colors, this will be snow. This particular model on this particular program I'm using does not show blues for snow and greens for rain. So assume all of this is snow. So at 7 o'clock this evening, that's where it'll be. Then as we head towards midnight tonight, that's when the leading edge will be approaching kind of the I-71 corridor in central Ohio. So probably nothing more than a few flurries at midnight tonight. And then as we head into the wee hours, that's when the snow is going to get going. Here's 4 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning. It will be snowing in a lot of northeast Ohio and western parts of Pennsylvania, probably fairly light at 4 o'clock in the morning. Let's go to a sunrise tomorrow morning right about here. And again, this isn't exactly a super crazy looking model with real heavy snow around or anything, but it will be snowing lightly in much of the area as you get up on Saturday morning at 7, 8 in the morning. You're going to see some snow, but it's not going to be adding up real quickly. And we'll wrap things up here with 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And this is when some of the heavier snow is going to try to push in. I think the worst of the weather with this is going to be midday and afternoon on Saturday. That said, it's never going to be like a blizzard out there. This is going to be light to at times moderate snow. It's a long duration event starting, in earnest 2, 3 in the morning, lasting all the way through the late afternoon, early evening on Saturday. So it's going to snow solidly for a good, 14, 15, 16 hours. And you would think with the snow lasting that long that our forecasted totals would be a little higher. But actually, the snow is never going to be super heavy, so it's going to give the road crews a chance to, keep up a lot of the time. That said, the worst of the storm, the heaviest of the snow that will try to fall will be right in here during the midday and the afternoon on Saturday. Now, the mixing line, or the line where you go from all snow to kind of a mix, is going to run up sort of like this. So the closer you are to Zanesville, Pittsburgh, the better chance those places will have of seeing something other than just all snow. Even in extreme southern Columbiana County, down towards East Liverpool, I wouldn't be shocked if you had some sleet for a few hours mixed in with the snow late afternoon, early evening on Saturday. But for the vast majority of the WFMJ viewing area, this is an all-snow event. It's just that extreme southern tip of Columbiana County that you may see a brief period of mixed precipitation. All right, well, how much snow are we talking? Our forecast hasn't changed much. If anything, we're going to start to emphasize the higher end of the range a little bit for a lot of the viewing area. Here's a look at the GFS computer model. Snowfall totals through 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. So this does not take into account leftover lake effect that's likely to occur late Saturday night and Sunday. This is just from the main storm Saturday evening, and this gives a healthy 3 to 5 inches across the viewing area. You don't see 6-inch amounts until you see the purple colors, and those are, maybe eastern Mercer County, eastern Lawrence County, and then heading up closer to the Erie area, according to the GFS. Now, the Canadian model, which I will show next here, has a similar idea. The amounts get lower south of Route 30, where you may start to run into some mixing. They start to get real slowly, progressively higher north of Interstate 80. And again, not a lot of 6-inch amounts out there on this model until you're up closer to the lakeshore, where some lake enhancement is going to take place. So that's the Canadian model. Here's a look at the European model. And again, not too dissimilar in the ideas here. A solid 5 inches, 5.5 inches in a lot of the WFMJ viewing area, especially from 224 on north. Then you get down maybe closer to the lower end of our range, according to this model, once you're down towards East Liverpool, East Palestine, Guilford Lake, places like that. You may be more in the 3.5 to 4-inch range instead of 5.5. We're splitting hairs a little bit here, but I think the overall idea is you're likely to see somewhat higher amounts the farther north and northeast you are in the viewing area with this particular storm. But a good 3 to 5 inches is definitely what we're going to keep advertising. I think we're at the higher end of that range, 224-ish on north, up into Trumbull and Mercer counties, and I wouldn't even be surprised if someone ended up with 5.5 or 6 or so in northern Trumbull, northern Mercer. So that's the way it's looking as far as most of our models. Here's the NAM model. Again, the amounts here are a little higher. You start to see some purples showing up north of I-80 on the NAM model. So that's something we've got to keep in mind, that this particular model is a little beefier. And the SREF, the ensemble model, where they take a model, tweak the initial conditions 21 different times, and then run it 21 times and see what the tweaking of those initial conditions does to the overall solution. This run has pretty good agreement with a range from the low end of 4.3 up to the high end of about close to 10, and the average is about 6.5 to 7 here on the SREF model for southeastern Trumbull County. This is for a specific point right where the Youngstown Warren Airport is. So this again argues for kind of the high end of our range, maybe 5, even 6 in a few spots. So that's the way things are looking this morning. I'll have an update this afternoon. Mike Joyce is on at noon today with an updated forecast, and again, you'll see me tonight at 6 and 11. I'll see you then.